Yo, what's happening, trading family? Today is Tuesday, August 18th. Today is a quick video. I'm pretty much going to be showing you how you can start learning this skill with no money out of pocket to you. Keyword, no money out of pocket to you. Once you're actually ready, you feel like your skills are built up and you're ready to go into the evaluation phase so that way you can start making some money. I'll show you that as well, but I want to really just put this out as an intro so that way you can know what you can do to start just learning with no money. Keyword, no money. Nobody want to spend money if they ain't got to. All right, trading family. So we getting right into it. So TradingView.com. Got it right up here at the top. TradingView.com. When you first get to the website, it's going to pretty much look just like this here. On this website, this is your platform. This is your home base. This is your everything here. Through this platform, you'll be able to make trades. You'll be able to read the charts, study the charts, put any kind of notes you want to put in. It literally is a do-all platform for everything trading. No matter whether you're doing futures trading, options trading, doesn't really matter what you're doing. It is a platform for all of this. To get into the actual charts, you can come up here to the top to products, click on super charts. You do need to create a free account in order to start paper trading. Let me repeat, you do need to create a free account to start paper trading. Once you create the free account, it will give you access to paper trading, and at that point, you can trade for free. Let me repeat that. With the paper trading, you can trade for free. What paper trading pretty much is what you see down here. You get an account that's really just numbers. You can set this account for whatever you want to set it for. If you're doing futures trading, normally most people are going to start out with a $25,000 or $50,000 prop firm account. So I would recommend setting the account balance for 25 or 50 if you're doing futures trading specifically. That's what I do, and work from there. If you ever want to reset the account or anything like that, you can come right over here, click on this little setting symbol, and you can reset the account right here and change the amount that's in there and just reset it to where you're back at a zero realized profit or loss. To get access to paper trading, once you have your free account on TradingView, all you have to do is come up to the top, click on trade, right here, paper traded. Brokerage simulator. It is exactly that. It's a simulator. It's letting you be in the market without actually being in the market. The data that's coming through is what's happening on the real charts, but it's just no money behind your trades. Once you click on that, you'll click connect, and boom, right in here. So while we're running this, I'll kind of show you a little bit. So this is pretty much what the chart is showing. We're in a downtrend. I'm going to go ahead and set a sell order just to show you kind of how it goes. I'll set my stop loss up there. I'll set my TP down here, and I'll go ahead and hop in just because that's pretty much the way it works. Now, as y'all can see, as the market fluctuates, my trade is also fluctuating just like it would if you were live. So from here, if you want to, in my case, draw in notes, draw in lines, whatever the case might be, add indicators, you can do all of that. So when I zoom out on my chart, as y'all can see, my indicators are all popping up, same as it would normally. If I come over here and go to the NASDAQ chart, this is the one that I'm normally trading. All of my stuff is here. All the key points I've marked out, all of them are here. Easy peasy. Everything is right there for you. You can literally play around with all of these different options to make your trading easier. So that way you can get comfortable, you can get used to your way of trading, and you can learn the skill. That is the most important thing, is learning the skill. Once you say, hey, I'm doing pretty good on the paper trade account, I want to start adding some real money into it, then you have a couple different options. You can either go the cash account route, which if you do a cash account in the futures world, then you say, for example, you put in $1,000, you'll receive a margin, or you can receive margin up to that particular amount. And if you make a trade that comes out green, you can then cash it out. If you make a trade that comes out red, sorry, but you end up losing money. It is what it is. But the benefit of a cash account is that you can get access to that money as soon as you make some. I personally have not done that yet, maybe in the future, but as of right now, I have not. That really is up to you. But the other option, if you're on the futures route like I am, is to do what's called a prop firm. So let me go over to that. So Lucid as well as Apex. These are the two that I have used myself that I know work and connect with TradingView. There are some others out there as well that you can research and look into, but this is what I've personally done. So Lucid has a lot of good options. I've personally done the Lucid Daily. You have your Flex, your daily other options up here. I've personally done the daily, the 25K, and I've attempted the Lucid Flex 50K. I've probably spent at this point about $150 on evaluations that have actually failed. So that's just money that I'm out of. It is what it is. But I failed those two evaluations. So my recommendation to you is to actually make sure that you are ready when you go to take the evaluation. If not, it's pretty much just lost funds. It is what it is. What the evaluation does is it pretty much puts you right back into a simulation trading environment. So same as I just made that trade on TradingView, it'll put you in that same environment, no different. When you're in that environment, you have to prove, based on the selection you choose, you have to prove that you can hit a profit target of $12.50 or $3,000, depending on if you're on a $25,000 or $50,000 account or whatever else. You have to hit this profit target before you have a max loss of this much. Very simple to understand. Me personally, I prefer end of day drawdown, but you can do an intraday drawdown. The difference is intraday trails what your total is for the day, your total profit is for the day. So say, for example, you have a 25,000 account. When the account first starts, you can't have that account below $24,000 because your max loss is $1,000. Like I said, we're talking about intraday. So say, for example, you have one good trade and you make $500. So now you are at $25,500. Your new drawdown is $24,500. In that same day, you cannot get below $24,500. If, say, for example, you're on a end of day drawdown, and say you make a $500 profit on the trade, now you go from 25 to 25.5 again, but your drawdown is still going to be set at 24,000 because it is only going to recalculate at the end of day. So say later on in the day, you lose that money. So instead of being at 25.5, say you go down to 24.7, then you're fine. Your end of day is still going to be the same, 24,000, because it only calculates at the end of the day, not as you're going throughout the day. So personally, I prefer end of day, but it really just depends on how you choose to go about it. Nothing's wrong with intraday. There are some different price options depending on what you choose to do. Let me go ahead and plug in my laptop here. Sorry about that. So that's the first thing. You can set a daily loss limit. The consistency rate, this pretty much means, in simple terms, how much of your profit can be made in the course of a single day. So in this case, the profit target is $12.50, 50% consistency. So that pretty much means the very first day, if you were to make half of this, so $625, you can then come back the second day and once again make $625, and now your consistency is 50%. You made 50% the first day, 50% the second day. Great. This is to avoid people getting into one lucky trade, making $12.50, and then it's like, all right, cool, I passed. No, that's not the way it worked. They want to see consistency. That's why they do break it up. On the flip side, say, for example, you broke this up into fours. So say the first day you made $250, second day you made, or say you made what? $300 the first day, $300 the second day, $300 the third day, $300 the fourth day. Now you're $50 short, but if you notice, your consistency would be down at around 25% because you have evenly spread out your wins over the course of a full 4 days, and then on the last day you only got to make $50 more to complete out the evaluation. But that's the way the consistency works. But once you do pass the evaluation, you are not winning or getting any money at that point. It is exactly that. This is to see, can you actually trade reliably, and should they give you any money pretty much to play with. Once you pass this, you then will move to what's called the funded stage. To get to the funded stage, not only does it require you meeting your targets, you also may have an activation fee. Here, as you see on these particular plans, the activation fee is actually free. Depending on the prop firm you go with and the particular option you select for the plan, there may be an activation fee, there may not. Once again, the price does differ depending on how you do it. But once you do pay the activation fee or move to funded, if you've already if you selected a plan that did not have an activation fee, then you go by a different set of rules. So I'll scroll down here a little bit, and so let me switch to the funded rules. So funded is a little bit different. So funded, still max loss of 1,000. Here, the DLL, if I remember correctly, I can't think of what DLL stand for off the top of my head, to be honest. Excuse me. Oh, daily loss limit. I'm sorry. Daily loss limit. So as you notice, this one has a $1,200 daily loss limit. This one doesn't have any because the max loss is already 1,000. The drawdown type, whereas initially you were able to select intraday or end of day, once you get funded, there's only an option for intraday. It is what it is. But if you notice, there is no option for consistency. So say, for example, if you make one great trade and you make $2,500 on that particular trade, then awesome. You're not able to cash out the full $2,500. If I remember, for Lucid, you can cash out. First, you have to build a buffer of, I think, $1,000. Anything over the $1,000 buffer, then you can cash out up to half. So say, for example, you made one trade. That trade, say, made $2,000. All right, you have your $1,000 buffer sitting there. The other $1,000, you can then cash out up to half of that. Since it is a prop firm, they aren't doing this for free. So the half that you do cash out, they take 10%. So they would take $50. You would get the other 90%. And that's how you would make money. Keep in mind, prop firms are not your friends. Prop firms, their job is to make money. So they are expecting you to fail. It is what it is. People literally spend thousands of dollars doing evaluations and never get to a payout. I'm still trying to get my first evaluation passed. I'm still trying to get to my first payout. I believe it'll happen, but you do have to be calculated in the process, because don't just keep throwing money at this if you're not ready to actually go through it. Like I said, the goal is to get funded. You want to be able to make back the money that you put in to your evaluation plus some. So let's move over to Apex. That's another one that I've also utilized and used. They actually have a great deal right now. I don't know why that came back up. But with the coupon code, look how cheap you can get in for it. But they are a little bit different. So in their particular plans, once again, they have intraday or end of day. Notice the difference in the prices. Notice the difference in the prices. You can, of course, choose no activation fee or activation fee. Notice the difference in the prices once again. You have the same options, 25,000, 50,000, 100, so on and so forth. And they also give you the option of getting a one pack, or you can get a little more of a discount if you buy 5 evaluations at once. I recently purchased one of the 25-day intraday trail packs in the 5 because $75, you can't beat that. But keep in mind, you still have some other stuff that you need to figure out. So with them, their profit target is 1,500. They have a little bit higher of a profit target than Lucid had. Their drawdown is still the same. The activation fee, Lucid's was free, theirs is $59. So do the math on that. No activation fee, $59 plus, let's say you only bought one account, so $1,670. So all in 60, pretty much 60 plus $1,670, you're going to be paying about $76 in total if you pass one of these and actually get to the funding stage, you make it to the funding stage. They do have a consistency rule once you're funded, whereas Lucid did not have a consistency rule once you're funded. They do have a daily loss limit, same thing, 1,000. But going back to the evaluation phase, the profit target is 1,500, and it does say that, where is it at? I just saw it. Oh, minimum days to pass, 1. So in the case of Apex, if you were to make $1,500 in 1 day, then you're golden. You can pass this here in 1 day. There is no consistency rule for Apex on this particular option. So I say that to say this, depending on what prop firm you use, then read through and make sure you're good with the evaluation expectations and with the funded expectations to make sure it's what you actually want to do. But what I will say is that no matter which one you choose, it really should not make a difference if you're confident and your skills match your confidence. I will say that. So keep that in mind when you're choosing how you want to go through. Whatever account that you set up, and if you plan to use TradingView, which is what I showed you in the beginning, make sure that they actually sync with TradingView. They do not always automatically sync. Once you actually get your account set, they will then tell you once it's activated and you'll receive an email. The email will have a login for a site called TradingView. The login page looks just like this. What TradingView is that it takes your account that you have with, in this case, Apex or Lucid, and it plugs it into their system, which then connects with TradingView. So if you go back to TradingView and say, for example, I come off the paper trade, I can then go up here and click trade, and as you see, there's an option for TradingView. But notice there is no option for Lucid, there is no option for Apex. TradingView is pretty much going to be that middleman that gets you from the prop firm to the actual trading system, which in this case is TradingView. You don't have to use TradingView. This is just what I choose to use. It's probably going to be the most popular and most innovative system currently out. Some of the other ones, people use them. You might see people using them, and they aren't bad, but they're just a little bit more outdated. In my personal opinion, from what I've seen, TradingView is the one that's the most intuitive and up to the times. But everything does take a little bit of a learning curve in order to get used to it. So it doesn't really matter what you decide to go with, whether it's TradingView or another one. They all work. You just have to figure out how to utilize them. So let's talk about some other stuff with TradingView. Now that we got the prop firms out of the way, even on a free TradingView account, you can still trade a prop firm. But there are some advantages if you want to do a subscription. So if you notice here, basic subscription, only 2 charts can be open, plus 4 charts, 8 charts, so on and so forth. I don't even bother opening multiple charts at the same time, maybe 2 at the most. But if you feel that you're going to need more, then by all means, you can do that. You just need a higher plan to do it. The indicators. If you're going to need more indicators, keep that in mind. Me personally, I only use about 4 indicators total. I have some other ones that are there that I turn off and turn on as needed, but I really only use about 4. Historical bars. How far back will it show you on the chart? That's another thing to pay attention to. You can look through all of this and kind of figure out what level and also what your budget is I'm not sure what's automatically included in the free account, to be 100% honest with you. So definitely keep that in mind. It doesn't show here for whatever reason. When I first came in, I automatically just bought the essentials and called it a day. You can get a little bit of a discount when you do annual, but these are the monthly prices. Also, if you wait around some holidays, TradingView will have specials. So I would probably recommend doing monthly for the short term. And when they do have a special, then get a annual for the long term. I got the premium plan, $60 per month when you do the annual, which comes to be about $720 over the course of a year. I got this for half price when I bought it for the 4th of July. You can't go wrong with that. So all in, it's really about $35 a month roughly, or actually less than that. But yeah, so figure out what works for you and also works for your budget. But at the end of the day, once you get the skills down, you'll be able to function fine on any one of them. And you can always upgrade or change it later. But for the most part, that's pretty much about all I got. Let's go back and see. Did I place that trade? Oh, here we go. So yeah, I placed the trade. I don't know why it's not showing though. That's crazy. Because it's still showing that it's running. All right, there we go. I'm not sure what happened there. I knew I placed the trade. I know I wasn't going crazy. I was like, I know I didn't place it on my actual account that I'm doing my evaluation on. So yeah, place the trade right now, down 25 bucks. It is what it is. So as y'all see, you can literally look and go through all of this. If you notice here, we had a nice wick down. So at one point this trade was in profit, but it's not now. It is what it is. You know, you learn. I just did this so you can see kind of how it goes. I'll do this here to close it out. So say for example, you set everything up. You can adjust your stop loss, adjust your take profit, so on and so forth. So I'm down 37.50. If I want to just close it out on the spot, cool, close it out. As y'all notice down here, all of this adjusted, $96 realized now when it first was at like 133. But you can pretty much utilize this and practice trading as you go. So that way you can become better at this skill. Once you actually get ready, then you can move to doing the evaluation and trying to get to the funded stage. But anyways, that's all that I got. Hopefully this helps you. Good luck on your trading journey. If you're watching this, then of course you already know about my trading journey. So keep following, keep tuning in. And as I learn stuff, I'll continue to give you guys more material as I learn. I do plan, once I actually get my strategy down to where I am 100% comfortable with it, I will then make a video on it. So hopefully it can help somebody else. But this is pretty much where I'm at as of right now. I just wanted to kind of get some other people started and get you rolling, like I said, for no money out of pocket. And you can, of course, take it from there. So as always, thank you for tuning in, and I will catch you guys on the next video.